Man, you a Cowboy fan like me, boy. Woo. Yeah, I'm ready. That last touchdown was terrible. But you caught us yesterday on FQ FAMU actually, as well as BCS and Black College Sports Network. You were able to see a watch party where we watched the FAMU girls get a dub, FAMU men catch an L. So it kind of is what it is. But you already know what's up. It's definitely Fangs up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does! And that might be the knockout punch.
All right, greetings and salutations. Another episode of Fangs up here. And look, if you're looking on Instagram Live, we trying a little something, we trying to do a little something around here. A lot more these Cowboys are doing because Cowboys ain't doing a blessed thing. Looking like hot garbage. And I say that as a fan. I ain't even gonna play with y'all today about my allegiance. But man, it's above me at this point, whatever's going on in FAMU. But we will talk about that a little bit. Supposed to have some decisions on Tuesday. So Tuesday at 1 o'clock, we're going to talk about that meeting that's going to be going on there. But before we do all that, look, FAMU track. Shout out to the track team. Look, that was a hire by Michael Smith. But they went up to UAB and got some dubs. So Tiana Brown, 60 meters. Joseph DeRosier, 60-meter hurdles. Rory Lowe got the 400 meters. And then FAMU's girls 4x4. The 4x4 team got first place too. So had a couple kids PR too. So all right, FAMU track. Let's try helping us forget about that other stuff. That bull jive. Now, on another note, that men's basketball team caught a fresh L. So hit the wrong button. Y'all can see the thing where I can hear myself. But men's basketball, we'll start with them because they caught the L. 74-65. Again, if you caught the live yesterday with Brian and myself, you got to watch us kind of talk about it, and really talk about it live, like what we saw, what we didn't see, excuse me. One of the cool things, Brian is a basketball coach. So you probably saw me acquiesce to him quite a bit. And you can kind of see the difference in how we see the game and some of the different things that are going on there. But it's I don't know, like again, 74-65, and the game was kind of in question at the beginning, but for the most part, it was Southern all the way. Like FAMU did lead early, and I even joked with Brian like, "Yo, we got to enjoy this. We winning." And he kind of chuckled, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm being real with this one. Like, we are not the best basketball team this year, or the last couple years. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, though. Kind of tongue in cheek a little bit, but coach is pretty much his last year. You know what it's gonna be. Like we're not even gonna play that game. So, but now the girls' first win of the season. So 59-53, FAMU ladies did pull it out. And I was supposed to go ladies first, but I just went to the winners. And they were actually like pretty solid. Like if you go back and watch that game, we had a lot of turnovers. Like the men had a bunch of turnovers, about 20, but the women, they also had a lot of turnovers. But you could start to see where the buy-in was there. Like they're a lot farther along as far as being able to be competitive, and they might actually make the playoffs, like the SWAC tournament, I should say, if they continue this going. So it's kind of is what it is. Pretty solid there. Now, as far as football, we are supposed to get an announcement on Tuesday. So some of y'all may or may not be able to see it, but you have a board of trustees meeting at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. They actually have a part where the public can make comments and everything like that. So yeah, good luck with that. But then you had the opening call order, roll call, probably who the board members are. Then give you a update on who the head coach is probably going to be or who the suggestion is, and then they're going to close it out. So this is probably a good chance for Rattler Nation and those that are involved to get out there and really say your 2 cents. Like if you feel some type of way, this is your chance to say it. Definitely not the time to be spitting half facts. Make sure you got your stuff together if you're speaking greasy to someone. So, but you're gonna be able to see that, and we kind of know, like it's probably between Colsey and the guys that's for Fort Valley, one of them two. At least that's what we're pretty much hearing at this point, and it's really at this point, it's a salvage job. Like, can you salvage the morale in the locker room? Can you salvage the recruiting class? Like, because you definitely lost a few players. Some you question, are they really losses or were they even going to come? But others, it kind of is what it is. And you've kind of seen the support come from Willie Simmons. Like Coach Simmons has kind of outwardly stated, you commit to a program, not a coach. And he said that from Duke. And we've actually seen him say some things post. Shout out to the Blue Bloods up there. And then do we get some talk about the AD here? So that's going to be one of the interesting things there. So great question. Let's see, Mr. Rice, where else does any school give anyone outside athletics a voice in hiring coaches? Most, if I'm being honest. Normally that board of trustees has to sign off on it just because of the size of the contract, from what I can remember. If you go look across the street, some of those boosters had to say in that. I know we're kind of hypercritical and like we think sometimes things only happen in vacuum at our HBCUs, but quite the contrary. You start looking over there. A great example is FSU, actually. Also like you start looking at some of the people that were stroking checks were like, we don't like this dude, don't hire that guy. Same thing at UF too. Like UF has balked at some coaching hires as well. And yeah, like there's a reason certain people leave early and certain people stay a little late. So just saying. So it's not just an HBCU thing, but I do kind of understand what Lacey is saying there, because one of the problems is that we're noticing with the coaching hire is all of a sudden it's not just one person from that particular group that wants to have a say. It's the whole group. And that's impossible. Like you really can't have all of Rattler Boosters have a say. Just like all of Cowboy Nation is frustrated right now, but everybody can't have a say. Like, I don't know what we're doing on defense, but it's garbage. It's not working. It hadn't worked all game. So you got like a 4 that the splits on there look trash. But it is what it is. The Cowboys gonna lose. I don't take that personal. But it's gonna be interesting though to see, quite to Lacey's point, like during that board of trustees meeting, does that vote of no confidence stuff come up? But then if that vote of no confidence stuff comes up, what's the response and what's the rebuttal? So, let's see. Lacey's got another point here. Tom York from U of L. I'm guessing that's University of Louisville, but could be one of the University of Louisiana's, said a long time ago that he does not allow others to have a voice in hiring coaches because he, the AD, is ultimately held accountable for. Okay. Hey, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. So, but in this case, you at least need to have them have a seat at the table. They may not get a decision because, as you pointed out, it is ultimately the AD's choice. But if the boosters said it well in their meeting, you're asking us for money and we're not saying no. We need to have some type of communication. So Louisville, okay, yeah. So before he left, yeah. And I know Louisville broke away from Papa John's after that fiasco, but yeah, Young Brands definitely has a say with who they hire. I would be very speculative if that corporation was like, nah, that they let a hire go through. But it's going to be interesting. And again, that's part of the things. Like you need those 3 DSOs to help contribute because pretty much athletics we've seen where that cap was at 200,000. Don't know if it's changed since. So you need to be able to have those DSOs come in and help get you over that hump. So it's gonna be one of the questions we're gonna see. Again, what happens with that vote of no confidence stuff? That is one of my big questions. Like I really had that question because some of the vote of no confidence stuff was a little shaky. And I appreciate Brian and I kind of, we're talking about the OBC a little bit, and he was like, the contract was made a little early. Like, okay. But some of the other stuff, it's a lot easier just to say you don't like that lady and keep it moving. Like, just say you don't like her. Say you don't want her here. Say you never wanted her here. Say she wasn't in your top whatever for the 18-person committee of people and keep it moving. But at the same point, that it's going to be a tough sell. And you could kind of point to some other things. Like I did see on one of the couple of sites, they were pointing out the budget and the budget shortfalls. But one of the problems when you start talking about those budget shortfalls and let's see. Yeah, I know I like to argue with data. I don't like to just say stuff without facts. If I'm gonna say something, I'm gonna definitely say something. But I'm gonna make sure I put it out there because I do see the one with Rattler blog posted out there, but we've also seen where for the athletic revenue, there's been a reduction. And look, I'm pulling up so y'all can see it too. I operate in the sunshine as best as possible. So this is, you can look at it online, 2022, 2023, the budget versus the actuals. So you can kind of, y'all more numbery people, kind of break that down as you see fit. But you can kind of start looking, they do make this public where you can see the different departments and who's doing what. And 80 Sykes did give one out there earlier, which is probably the one some people are referring to, where they were saying they had some questions about the athletics, but some of that's also like some of those ways that we got money expired. So it's a little bit of that. Let's see. It's all on AD and many more minor programs. The board generally have to approve the contracts, giving fans and boosters too much input. There we go. I agree. And it Will says it's just the coaching search for me. Right. I agree. I think that's the big issue. Like we're talking about the coaching searches. That's been the thing. She's never included. I shouldn't say that. That's strong words. I have yet to see where she's included stakeholders in the hiring of coaches. There you go. And that goes basketball coach, bowling coach, now football coach. She did it the first 2 times. Nobody said anything. So, kind of is what it is. Let's see. Hitman, what you got? It's going to be Sean Gibbs, I guess. And I will get behind him because I want us to win. And there we go. And we have to do that. Which, man, that'd be a tough sell. Yeah. But if it's him, it's him, I won't speak greasy of the brother. Oh, but he has to win the classic. There we go. Look. And then Will says, but this is football. We are football school. We are that. We are that much. Those stakes aren't held accountable. You're correct. So, and I don't disagree with you about the stakeholders not being held accountable, but you're going to ask them for a check. You at least need their input. Do you have to do what they say? Absolutely not. You don't have to listen to them. Again, I gave you a great way to placate them. Like, hey, okay, this is who you like. Most of them said in the booster meeting they like Billy Roll. From what I remember from last week, is he probably going to get the coaching hire? Probably not. But again, you're kind of seeing where individuals lock in step. And Tamara C says, no, we better win more than the classic. Yeah, at least win the classic and that first home game. Like I'm gonna say this, if it is him from Fort Valley, and let's kind of give the guy his credit. He's not a bad coach. He had two successful seasons at Fort Valley. He just won a bowl game in Miami over the break. So you can kind of look and see where the resume is kind of similar to what you just did this season. Now, did he lose the Quinn head to head? Yes. Yeah. Fort Valley State definitely lost to Albany State this year. I think they had like 8-4 season. But at the same point, that's going to be the hill you want to die on. Hey, man, that's the hill you're going to die on. Tam says, I keep missing what makes him attractive. I think that's it. He didn't bring it all the way back, but he brought the Fort Valley program kind of back. So consistent winner, proven winner. He's been there for a little while. HBCUs need to be focused. You're not wrong, but at the same point, there's only one national championship that you can win. I mean, unless we're saying that the second best team in the SWAC and the MEAC are going to go to the playoffs, then, I hear you, Lacey, but the only problem is we're with a group of schools that have pretty much said we're not participating in that as our primary focus, largely due to the financial impact. You go from where you're paying to be in the playoffs to where you're guaranteed money just by being in the conference. And if you go to the Celebration Bowl, you get $250,000. So, you I hear you. And I was definitely on, I don't want playoffs at the beginning. So I started seeing the finances, and it makes better sense. And yes, that Miami Bowl game, no, it's not. Not even close. It was not even, I still haven't got to watch it. I'll say it like that. I tried to, but it was on a different platform. And the question is from Hitman, what makes him attractive over our guys that we already got? Just the extra year coaching experience, honestly. Colsey's never coached in the U.S. as far as being a head coach. Billy Roll, no college head coaching experience. Smitty Rock, no college head coaching experience. And then previous knowledge. I mean, y'all kind of, they work together at Grambling. I ain't going to talk about the other stuff because I can't prove that stuff. But you kind of going for what you know. Like, I know this person. We were cool then. I see they have some success. Like, it's more than just the resume, And so Tab says, Mosley told Brian and AD that our AD consulted Trey Oliver about Gibbs. What does Oliver know about FAMU football? Great question. Don't know. and I think, if we're talking about this whole situation, that's part of the problem. It's you're coming in as someone who's, learned about the program, but not fully familiar with it. And you're bringing in another person that's not really familiar with the program. All the fighting stuff is the fighting stuff. But at the same point, it's another time where the top hire was a successful person, but a successful person, over people who have been there, built a rapport, and go on with it. Ooh, Hitman. Why not listen to Rudy Hubbard? Look, I didn't bring Vaughn on the show, but Vaughn brought up a great point. And I think he's right. I mean, I think we've seen that time over time, the past couple weeks. Yeah, Alabama brought in a guy that was outside, but at the same point, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be hard to find a link to him in the saving tree. You saw where the Patriots, they kept a guy that was there. I mean, you just kind of started looking. Most times, you try to find somebody that's either from a successful coaching tree or that's familiar with that system to stay there and run it. Like Georgia, Kirby Smart played at Georgia, but he's also from the saving tree. So it's kind of one of those things that you start asking that question, See, Lacey, Celebration Bowl and D2 Bowl only allow one team from each conference. You're right. You are correct. And I don't disagree with you, but part of that's on Tennessee State. All right, they want to be over there in the OVC. I mean, you can't help that. That's something, a cognitive decision that they've made. Would love for them to have a chance to go to the Celebration Bowl, but at the same point, if they go to the Celebration Bowl, does their conference share the money? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm gonna throw that out there. If you're gonna involve Tennessee State, North Carolina A&T, Hampton, all of a sudden, what happens when the other schools from that conference have a decent record and they're like, we want the money though? Like, I mean, you can't exclude them like that. I mean, you could, but you open up a can of worms for, well, when we leave you out of stuff, you feel this way. How you going? So if they want to participate in Celebration Bowl, they need to be in the conferences that participate in the Celebration Bowl. Ain't no Publix in California. You want to go to Publix, you got to go somewhere where Publix is. They want to go to the Celebration Bowl, either come back or join a conference that participates in it. Otherwise, it kind of is what it is. Let's see. Learning and him learning on a dot. Oh, you look, I'm with you. I definitely, I've stated who I thought, and you look, I know that's worth a hill of beans, but at the same point, it seems like we would not be here had we made a decision earlier to probably stick with someone who's already there. And I mean, you've lost 2 coaches already that we know of, verified. Now the other ones are speculation, but we've all heard the speculation. So you definitely know Willie's gone, Riz is gone. I mean, that kind of is what it is. Did it have to be like that? Probably not, but kind of is what it is. Hitman Trey Oliver wants someone he can beat. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the MEAC's a lesser conference as far as like overall. Like, yes, they've won multiple Celebration Bowls. Yeah, Howard kept it close with FAMU, but I mean, when the quarterback has 4 turnovers like that, I mean, what, 3 picks, a fumble, or 2? I'm sorry, 2 picks, a fumble, and a safety. So, I mean, quarterback gave you 9 points, straight 9 points too, because one of the picks was a pick 6. So, and Hitman, yeah, he's yeah. I kind of dropped that breadcrumb earlier. I didn't confirm it because I don't have it to confirm, but I wouldn't be surprised. So it's kind of one of those things though. Like, all right, all of a sudden you're looking and you're seeing where the coaches that were there that got you where you wanted to be are no longer there. And now you're kind of starting over in a lot of places. So kind of interesting. Lacey, TSU was in the OVC before the Celebration Bowl started. This is true. Also has more Black college football championships. You may not be wrong there. Should they be excluded? Yes. Yeah. Because my rationale with that is not because my rationale is because they're not in the MEAC or the SWAC. The Celebration Bowl is exclusively for those 2 conferences. So that's all of a sudden, if you're letting TSU in because they're historically Black, I get that. And I actually kind of agree with that notion. But for me, the next part becomes when the OVC wants their cut of the money. Like, what happens with that? Because then all of a sudden, you're giving me the benefit of refusing to join your conference, outright refusing to join your conference, and in some other schools' cases, leaving one of your conferences, but I still get that Celebration Bowl money. I struggle with that. Just because, and again, your HBCU, you got every right to play in a bowl that's specific for HBCUs. But the issue is that bowl is also tied to those 2 conferences. Like, it's not like how the Rose Bowl was, where it was the Pac-10 versus the Big Ten exclusive. And then, stuff came and then other schools come around and we get the BCS. It's exclusive. Celebration Bowl is just for the MEAC and the SWAC's champions. If you're not in the MEAC or the SWAC, it is what it is. Let's see. Oh, sorry. We'll go to Tamara first. Coaches said this is a reload, not a rebuilding. Gibbs rebuilding Fort Valley still makes him not the candidate above those who are. Look, that's kind of the thing for me. Like, and look, keep answering the questions, y'all, because look, I'm more than willing to let y'all vent and we can share. It shouldn't be a reload. It probably feels like it for those that have, if you were in Atlanta it feels like a reload. Like it just does. Like, but if you saw everything that happened and you're seeing what is happening, it feels like a rebuild. So that's kind of why it probably has that feeling for a lot of us. And it may or may not be so. So um, let's see. Hitman, qualified people are being overlooked. This is true. And I think mm, we are prejudiced for the way we treated Henry Smith. I agree. And I say the same thing with basketball, though. And I've said that about FAMU basketball for years. FAMU's basketball was at its best when it wasn't coached by our brother. It sucks to say, but Gillespie was the best coach that FAMU's had that I can ever remember. Like he had that team cooking, and you went and you got an experienced head coach, somebody that done it at a smaller level. He came in there, he did more with more, as Kofi would have said, and then he did it at a high level. I agree. I think Smitty Rock should have been the interim because he was the associate head coach. Like to just kind of randomly, not randomly, but to pick somebody who wasn't the associate head coach, it's a struggle for me. It's a struggle for me. And then great question. How can it, if it doesn't represent the best HBCUs annually, they left the party. I mean, Notre Dame don't get a conference championship. They get to play in the bowl games, but they don't get a conference championship. So, they're in the ACC for everything but football because of money. So, and there are multiple Black college championships. We saw where BCSN and other outlets do some. So through the media, which Dr. Cavill has shared with us. But as far as Celebration Bowl wise, look, if you want to wear the moniker, you got to pay. You got to be in the dance to get to the final dance there, and they're not there. So, but I do understand, and I agree that but do you think Tennessee State would have beat FAMU this year? If you're being real, I don't. Oh, Ashley, will the DSOs decide to get behind Gibbs? That's a question. That is $100,000 question right there. And I think that is the big issue. That is the huge issue because the booster said, I've already told you. Well, they didn't tell her because she wasn't in the meeting, but they've already stated they want Roller, maybe Cozy. So, that is what that is. NAA stated they don't even want her. So that's another thing. Like, just with you. Jordan, I don't understand how we're going to view his staff as damaged goods. You're sitting there under confetti with some people, for goodness sakes. Look, I don't either. I think it was a great staff. So yeah. Here's not being said about if they played other HBCUs. Let's see what else. Tennessee State class for SIEC. They are okay. You're not wrong. Chinnisberry, and everyone wanted Chinnisberry. Yeah, you're not wrong. And no one's saying that the guy's a bad coach. I've never said that. I said he's not the right fit for FAMU, and I've been adamant about that. Like I've definitely stated that point. But I've never said that the guy's a bad coach. I even just said at the beginning of the show he's actually really good. Stated that he did win a bowl game. I believe 8-4 last 2 seasons, last 2 years trying to turn around Fort Valley. But at this time and place, is that the best fit for FAMU when you're pointing out, hey, there are people on the staff that they put in the work. Like they've been here long enough to get that shot. They're familiar with what's going on here. You're gonna pass them over, and then how do you pass them over and they not get offended? Like I'm just saying, because that guy, if Gibbs comes here, has success, you're a long-term assistant, unless you just leave. So, just saying. But Hitman said we got to support no matter what. Can't leave athletes hanging. You're right. I mean, I'm definitely going to choose to side with some of the organizations over, just the athletic fund in general. But if he wins, we'll come back. But that's the thing. You got to sell me something that if he wins over people that I know that have won. as pointed out earlier, you had confetti a few weeks ago, about less than a month ago. Confetti. We're in the Georgia Dome. I'm pretty sure I can't find it. I've got confetti somewhere in this house from Atlanta. I mean, my credential is on the orange jersey, the green jersey from the Celebration Bowl, that blue and white one. So a few weeks ago, my SWAC stuff is here. I told y'all they was cheap on this one. Normally, look, you get some hard, you can hear that one. But SWAC they went a little cheap on that one. It's a hard sell because let's see what I actually said. I haven't heard or seen one person say he was a bad coach. No, no, no. He's not a bad coach. And let's dispel the myth or any myth that we're trying to besmirch his name. And honestly, I've even besmirched AD Sykes' name. Like, look, keep it being. I said just like Will. Like, only reason I was upset was really this coaching hire. Like the other coaching hires, I figured out what time of day it was. I was like, oh yeah, she's gonna do her own thing. That's cool. Nobody's gonna say nothing about it. Hey, I'll give you what I think. You go with who you think. So it is what it is. And as Hitman say, it may not be a we thing. Yeah, you're not wrong. Now, if he is a fit, why overlook coaches on staff? He'll always get the short end because of how it was done. You're right. And that's kind of my concern with him coming into FAMU. You're coming into a situation where you're coming in not really liked. And anybody who's gone someplace where you're the new dude and people don't already like you, and now you got to win the room because they wanted somebody else instead of you, man, that's tough. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and it took a couple weeks for me to, a couple months and some staff turnover for me to kind of get in for myself. And I made mistakes, whereas the other person may not have made the mistakes, but I looked better on paper. So we've been where he's at. Don't envy the position he's in. But yeah, Taylor said it's not about him, but the process and overlooking our coaches. Exactly. That's the big problem. Nobody doesn't like him. Nobody thinks he sucks. If he's watching this, I want him, and he becomes a FAMU's coach, I want him on the show, straight up. And I would tell him, hey, bro, go back and watch. I never said I don't like you. I just said, wrong time, wrong place. But hey, you're here. I'm rocking with you. That's kind of what it is. Like, Hitman says he has to get relationships with those in South Florida too. No way you can have a bunch of boys from the Carolinas in our program. You have to. And I think one of the things, let's kind of start looking at this right here. That's one of the other questions. It is recruiting, because I'm gonna tell you right now, Chennis Berry started to offer kids in Orlando and Central Florida. Oh, he's up in South Carolina State, but he's already, hey, let me start hitting Florida up real quick for some of these recruits, because we play FAMU. They play Cookman every couple years. Like, it's not that bad of a ride if you're from the East Florida, so you got to start kind of looking at that part too. Like, some of it is the recruiting aspect. Oh, they about to fight. Sorry, Cowboys still on. I ain't paying them no attention, but they're still on. I'm gonna watch them till they finish first round and out. But that's crazy. Like, you got to reestablish recruiting principles. That's part of the thing with Billy Roll is. He's got those ties to South Florida. You get Colsey, he's got those ties to FSU and other parts of the state. So look, we're gonna see. Let's see. Lacey's got our people on the staff head coaching material. As a former high school coach and collegiate assistant who has been a head coach at a couple of programs, mainly in the secondary, I can honestly say everyone cannot be a head coach. I agree. Most of New England's former assistant coaches who've gotten to the NFL flopped. Would FAMU be happy if it chose an unproven assistant? Yeah. I mean, if it was an unproven assistant off the staff, and I think that's the caveat. I think the caveat is go with somebody who's already been there. And it's kind of the layup that Scotty and others said it was. If it turns into something where it doesn't work, I just hired him. But I chose the person you hired. They got a 3-year deal. They flopped. Let's keep rolling. I listened to Rattler Nation on that one though. So you can kind of sell that to the DSOs and everybody else when it's pay time. Whereas now you really have to rebuild that relationship. Like just as and speaking as athletic director, you have to rebuild the relationship because some of the people just didn't like you from the word go. Like let's keep it what it is. Some people just did not like her. I don't have a problem with her. I told y'all up front, I have no problem with A. Sykes. I've spoken to her quite a few times. She's always been respectful, always been really cool from the word go. When she got announced, I was like, hey, this is what we got. Cool. I'm rolling with you. But I don't have a problem with the lady. But I do understand with this hire. Yeah. Let's see. Jordan, A&T didn't want him. Our staff that was left in the Willie era is all move upward trajectories. Look, there you go. Youngstown, KJ, you're seeing a lot of that. No head coaches except for the only one I can think of off the top of my head, previous assistant coach that is a head coach, Quinn Gray. So Quinn Gray was offensive coordinator at FAMU when Earl Holmes was there. So that's kind of part of the thing too. Like you bring them back, can you bring them back? Whatnot. So be interesting. Hitman. Somebody gonna call him and he gonna get look right. You gotta embrace some of that Florida culture. Like you gotta embrace some of what we say. It took me a good couple months to learn about these kids saying jit and like jit did this and jit did that. I'm like, I'm in Tallahassee. Like every other word shouldn't be jit, but now my students say jit all the time. It's like, yeah, that little jit over there. Oh, man, he's gonna have to come in and learn our culture. It is. And if I'm gonna be honest with what I would suggest he do, just do a crash course. Just dive in. Like the way I was like, AD Sykes should probably chill for a few days. Do the opposite. Go over to Olean's. Go to the Piggly Wiggly and get your pork chop sandwich if you eat pork. Like, go figure out Tallahassee culture. Go figure the Gaston County culture. But you got to create some of these ties with some of these coaches because Coach Smith has deep ties to a lot of the recruiting area in Florida. He also has ties to schools like Florida State, Florida, Alabama. He's been assistant in all those places and won championships at a few of them. So SWAC, SEC, championship. And I believe he won a national championship as a coach at FSU under Jimbo. So you got to rebuild that. You got to use the impact that Colsey has. And it's just kind of continuing to build that relationship and build a rapport because otherwise you're going to get passed by. Like part of this isn't just the simple fact of him being him. It's him being new. You just won a championship and these people are familiar with the culture and what's going to, kind of what's going on. And Tamara says, I'm not on the she got to go bus. Me neither. I do not think she needs to address Rattlers. I do think she needs to address Rattlers and use some of your suggestions. Look, because somebody asked me about getting on the board of trustees meeting on Tuesday. And I was like, honestly, I got kiddos. But at the same point, and I'm trying to find the PowerPoint, excuse me. But the other reason I was like, nah, bro, you really don't want that? I'm not supporting you the way you think I'm supporting you. Like, you really think I want her gone. And I've stated I don't. Because the charges are trumped up. Like, I can go with she's done this, she's done. I get all that. But if we're going off the stuff that was said in the NAA meeting, that's a lawsuit. And I don't want FAMU to get sued. I always want what's best for FAMU. That's always key. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I may not like something, I may not love it, but I always want what's best for FAMU. And should she have been hired as the AD? That's up for your interpretation. She what we got. So was she number one on the list? No. Is she here? Yeah. So me lamenting stuff or trying to act like whatever, I'm not. But what I will say is since she's here, I'm gonna support her in the best way possible. But I may not support all of her decisions. Like hit up, go to the churches too. Hit the Willie, call Willie Simmons. Like if he does get this job, call Willie Simmons. Like Hitman also get the love of older people. Like Willie Simmons has a degree in communications, and you start to learn that really quick, and you see what he does. Talk to Willie Simmons. See if you can get in front of some of the people that he knows and get his blessing, because he's the plug, and he's going to be the person that's going to give you the right media directions. Like, you know, if you want to hit me up, hey, I'll tell him, look, go here, go there, maybe talk here, talk that. But Willie's going to tell him the people in the know that it could be like, this is it. This is him. This is her. She's one. Like, use the previous administration if you're coming in new to learn, because if you're coming in there brand new, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, especially in this era of the transfer portal. Ashley says if he's smart, he'll hire a recruit out of Florida and help make him. Yep. Maybe even, I don't know if there's another Riz. Like, Riz was a high school coach. Like, Riz comes into FAMU as a high school coach who's just locked in and plugged in all over the state. And he just, like, the dude was brilliant. Like, he's gone to all this recruiting things. He's seen it from a coach's perspective. And then he's got that knowledge of, hey, as a high school coach, I know what I like to see. I know what I want to see. I know what my players respond to. I know the kids in the area. And then he flips it and uses his knowledge to really his best benefit. Like, really, he's got to be that. Tamara T, he can't follow. No. That's one of those ones you can't follow right there. Jordan, what's up, bro? We're suffering for a regional bias with her being from Virginia. The crazy part is she understood getting Florida ties. You're right. Like, because, and we've already seen commitment from one of the basketball players, young lady from Georgia. You can see coach pressure. Okay. Tamara says, why would Willie get involved? He said that he spoke up for his coaches. I think it's one of those what's best for FAMU deals. Like, because I've been in that place before where you've been jilted. You leave a place, you really set it up, and you try to tell somebody, hey, you should do it this way, and they go completely different, F's up, fails, and whoever they put in kind of calls you and asks like, yo, bro, I know you and whatever had y'all's problems, but can you give me the tea? What am I supposed to do? How do I figure this out? Because it's above Willie. It's bigger than Willie. It's bigger than me. That's why it shows it's above me. Like, honestly, we did that show yesterday. I was like, we talked about basketball. I talked about basketball game. But in this case, it's above Willie. It's one of those things where he still has that love and that passion for Rattler Nation. And some of those are his kids still. Those are still players that he brought to FAMU. And if you really want the best for them, share the knowledge. I'm not saying for Willie to reach out, though. It's the onus is on whoever the new coach is, whether it's Colsey or Gibbs, to reach out to him, ask questions. What worked, what didn't work, what did you have set up? Because sometimes, and we've all left the job before, man, I set them up for 3 months. I remember when I quit Florida State, I had my schedule set up for like 6 months. I did not have to be in that office. I was like, yo, I'm Office of Financial Aid. I'm about to go on tour. I'm about to go to every school in the area. I'm about to do this. I'm not gonna be sitting up here telling these people we ain't got no money every day. I'm sick of that. But when I left, it kind of was what it was. Hey, Willie left. Can I set this up in fruition? Can I set this up? Stuff that you've already set up. Can I follow through with that? Can I take advantage of your recruiting connections? Can I work with some of the things that you have built up? Hey, the strike tour happened. That should be something that, I mean, granted, you had interim AD between ADs, and granted, that's going to be tough. Be a tough sell. But if you can get anything similar to that going, and it may take a year of you building trust. And if he comes in, whoever comes in, if it's the coach that the DSOs want, get that strike tour going. You shouldn't be there. Like, send the coach out there, let him come out there and talk, let him try to raise some funds, tell him how much he appreciates Rattler Nation, keep it moving. Again, look, if I was AD, I would not be any strike tour things for the next year. Now, if my dude comes in and he's successful, I might slowly creep my way in. But and that's not even being fearful. That's just I ain't trying to mess up the bread. Like just saying. Tamara, he can't follow her advice. Oh yeah, we got that one. Let's see what you got, Hitman. I think another reason for people not with ZD is we believe that she forced Coach Simmons out, and I like how we believe, and kind of pointed to what Tamara pointed out the other show where I feel like we believed like our beloved son. He's not from Tallahassee, y'all. Gaston County. I don't wonder if he was born in Tallahassee, Gaston County, though. But 2 Tallahassee people have been pushed out with little to no effort. Correct. And the crazy part is, Riz Rickards, Willie, Shanks, which is not there anymore really, but I think it's a middle school now. But either way, guys with local ties, deep roots in the community. Like Willie went through some stuff, like publicly. Kid gets shot, all kind of stuff. So you start to see like Willie grew. We watched Willie grow into this coach, and if, like you said, Hitman, it feels like this person's the reason he's not there. So how do you justify giving us something else when really the world was yours to take? Like too many questions to ask when eternal. Yeah. Let's see, Jordan. I've been mad at Dion before, but I have to thank him for not poaching Riz while Willie was still there. Yes, I agree. And I'll be honest, I won't even say I'm angry with Prime because I'm not a Jackson State fan. So, but I don't root for Colorado. I don't. Just because y'all missing me with the HBCU thing, and it's Colorado. I want him to do well, but I don't sit up here and like that's my new team. Like, nah, it ain't gonna be that. Even though he's HBCU grad, I do want to do well though. Tam, how can he raise money when he's not the candidate we want? How successful could it be? I don't think it's gonna be successful. To be honest, I think you start with a booster event if he does become the coach. But if it's cozy, you kind of roll it out there. I mean, but if that's going to be the coaching hire, you got what, 2 weeks till National Signing Day? It's hard to sell kids that this is the program to come to when you don't have a head coach. So that's going to be interesting. So depending on who it is, determines on what you do. I mean, let's just keep that real. If it's cozy, I think it's business as usual. You get a strike tour going, you start contacting your stakeholders, and you start seeing like, can you get certain people to come back and invest in the process? Whereas if it's not, then it's not. Like if it's somebody different, you're starting from scratch. It's a rebuild, not just so much of athletically, it's a rebuild program wise. Like we say it's a rebuild, and I think some people are just thinking like, oh, you're just rebuilding the team. No, you're rebuilding the foundation of this program if you hire outside of that group. And that's the frustration, because we don't like things we're not familiar with. And even with that, the choices that have been said to have been offered as head coaches are people that you're familiar with. So how do you expect for us to want to welcome somebody we're not familiar with when you're welcoming people you're familiar with? Like, just, real questions deserve real answers. Tam, what you got? Oh, yeah. Oh, Will, back to Will. Willie told Blue Buzz Manny Diaz reached out after the Celebration Bowl. So, look, yeah. I think I would be surprised if that wasn't somewhat, I ain't gonna say mutual. Mutual ain't the good word, but it wasn't a shock. Like, yeah. Let's see, Ashley, should we prepare ourselves to be disappointed Tuesday? After sitting with Brian, I mean, from what I've been told, no, but have your stuff ready. Like, if you really want to voice your displeasure, they're giving you a time after roll call for public comments. And with the board of trustees there, you can tell them why. and say, let's go. Terrence, these boys believe the 7Fs. Go look Willie's Facebook page, Twitter page. Sorry, not Facebook. I don't follow him on Facebook. But his Twitter page, he's still got the 7Fs up there. Hitman, if it's cozy, we need to do a fundraiser to the amount as we did to try to get Coach to stay. I agree. If it's cozy, you got to do something. And I think if it's cozy, you got to meet with the people at the 220. Like that's my first meeting. Like 220, the boosters. Sorry, I don't know why I blanked because it fell down, and it fell down because it's upside down. But talk to the boosters. Selvin Cobb will talk to you. So you got to talk to those groups. If it's cozy, get them in front of every one of your major DSOs, and not the whole group, the leaders or the boards, and have them talk. And all those out in Tallahassee, closed door meeting with each one. This is what I need. This is what I want. This is what I'm trying to do. This is my experience. He's got to sell himself. If it's Gibbs, you got to give him the same thing. I mean, again, either coach, you got to justify why your money, why you need my money. Like, and again, I say the leaders, not me. I'm a $100 booster. I'm a $100 NAA member. My pen is on this table somewhere. If I had it ready, I've been doing that lately. I'd be having stuff spur of the moment. But man, if I had it ready, here it is. Look, got my NAA pen. Boom, right there. All right, put him up here with my snake. So I got my NAA pen. I got my Rattler booster stuff. Like, I'm a member of both. But AD Sykes don't need to talk to me. I'm a $100 level cat. I ain't a six-figure narcissist. Naysayer. There we go. Sorry, not a six-figure naysayer. Just had to had to hit the link real quick. Hit that link for you. But you do need to talk to them, especially 220. 220, you need to get there. Look, might want to talk to Gerald about the mac and cheese, though. I'm just saying, I was told that mac and cheese don't be busting like that. So you can go get it if you want to, but I heard the mac and cheese at 220 ain't the move. That was Gerald's words, not mine. So, but real talk, like, how do you fix it? Y'all know I don't bring you problems, or as Brother Rayford Rollins would have said, problems, without bring you solutions. Here's a solution. If you're AD Sykes, hire Cozy. Like, just bow out. Like, I get it. That may be your guy. That's my dude. That's my man's. But not today. Let that junk go. Hire Cozy. Keep it moving. Talk to the assistants and have that conversation. If you can talk with Smitty Rock, talk with Smitty Rock and say, hey man, what can we do to get you to stay? I know you feel burned, but we got some money to pay assistants. We'll keep you a name as an assistant head coach and keep it bumping. But unless he gets a head coaching job, I would do that. And then I would write something into his contract that says if he leaves, you get a kickback. My YouTube channel, it is the Fangs Up Podcast. So go YouTube and you can look up Fangs Up Podcast, like and subscribe. Please do. We're trying to get the numbers up. So, but yeah, Fangs Up Podcast 6689. So at Fangs Up Podcast, and you'll probably see it. But that's the solution. Start there. Hire Cozy or Billy Roll or Smitty Rock. Keep it moving. After that, whichever one of them you hire, and I'm gonna give you both. If you hire them or if you hire Gibbs, then you get them in front of the DSO's leaders. Do not have them in the NAA meeting on Zoom or YouTube or Twitter for thousands of people to make decisions. Nope. Put them in front of the leaders. Mr. Johnson, the other people, and keep it moving. Go talk to the boosters. Boosters going to have their meeting next month. Have a pre-meeting with Selvin Cobb and have them talk and say, hey, Mr. Cobb, new head football coach, you know me, blah, blah, blah. What can we do with Rattler boosters? Because they've said they're cutting off the purse strings. So I need y'all to open that back up. And I'm telling you what I need to keep it moving. Then you do that F club, 220 club as well. You start to, hey, what can we do? Your next meeting, new head coach. I need to be there. And then you set up a strike tour. You only hitting 3-4 cities because you done burned some bridges. But even with those 3-4 cities, I'm sending the head coach. I'm sending the women's basketball coach. I send the track coach, and maybe even the volleyball coach. One of them. And you can shuffle that. You may just want to send, if Coach Shoop wants to go, send Jamie Shoop. But I'm sending my coaches that got some rings. And we're doing a strike tour. You show off the rings. Hey, this is where your money went. Because again, I told y'all before about us black people. Give me something tangible. This is old. I renewed my booster dues and alumni dues. I don't get a new pen every year as an alumni. You pay once, you get that. Now my booster tag, I get a new booster tag every year. Every year I pay, I get a new one. Give them something tangible. Show them where their money went on the strike tour. They went to rings. We did this. We did that. Keep it moving. After that, get the football season going. Now, if you hire Gibbs, you got to do something similar, but you're not doing a strike tour. You're going up there. He meets in front of the DSOs. He kind of does a public, whatever. Have him sit down with Vaughn. Keep moving. Like, see if you can make nice with these DSOs and keep it bumping. Because otherwise, it's not gonna be good. Like, and honestly, if you put him in front of on a strike tour and it's Gibbs, it's a year away. Like, you're missing a whole probably $100,000 to $200,000 just from the strike tour by making that higher. You want to stick to them guns, you stick to them though. But Tamara T, hire Cozy, pay the coaching staff. Yep. Will says, how is Gibbs the top candidate? Don't know. Okay, I get why. I told y'all they did work together at Grambling, and he's had success at Fort Valley. That's all I got for you. Otherwise, yeah. Jordan, problem is the one who needs to convince them to stay is the same one that hurt them. Ooh, oh, boy, Jordan, you're preaching today. Let's see. Tara T, Zep, Cozy, Smitty O'Roll. That's who you want? I'm with it. Look, Tara T, said it again for the people in the back. Look. And then Tara also said, yep, coaches tour and humble yourself. Speak with every DSO, even give them a few minutes to vent. Okay. And I will say that with the DSOs, meet with your leaders, your boards. And I even gave the idea last time. Have a monthly state of athletics. One of the things we often talk about, hey, PWIs ain't doing this and PWIs ain't doing that. You know what they do every month? Even when football season's over, Florida State still runs their athletic shows. Like how we're doing the basketball thing and then we flip it to football. Then when it flips to baseball and spring sports, they still do the monthly stuff and give you like highlights and this is what's going on in Seminole athletics. And you're just like, I don't care. But I mean, that's nice. But if you're invested in the program, like, oh, okay, I can give to that. Hey, we're turning ground here. They're going to build a new indoor practice facility. This is that. And you're like, okay, you're doing some more money. Like, you have a school of journalism there. Use them kids. Like, because Taylor can't do it all. She's killing the game. Let's see, Jordan. What? I'm so afraid our life doesn't function in a certain office at Lee Hall, at a certain office. Look, man. And as Tamara points out, you got to maintain engagement. Like, it's crazy. And one of the things I talked about with Brian, and I don't think he minds me sharing this. One of the things that was very frustrating about this entire process was that, and I don't fuss or get mad with Scotty. Actually, transparency, I'll text Scotty every once in a while. I have no issue with Scotty. He's a cool guy for me. I have nothing disparaging. But it was the fact that you had people like Scotty, like Brian, and like myself dropping more nuggets than the athletic department. Like Willie's leaving. Okay, cool. You ain't got to tell me that as an athletic department. I'm cool with that. But at the same point, give me a little something more than what we got. Like stuff is coming about who potential coaches are. Like you can give me the a weekly, hey, we're still doing the coaches, we're still doing a search for coaches. We're still doing a search for coaches. I'm gonna get sick of that after the second week. But start being like, hey, I've rounded it down to 20 candidates. Oh, okay. In week 2, I've rounded it down to 10. Oh, she's doing something. She may be bold-faced lying to me. But hey, it sounds good. Hey, we've rounded it down to 5, and I expect to make a hire next week. Well, shoot, you're working. All right. I don't like Rick Scott, but he said one thing that was right. Let's get to work. That's it. The second you gave me that, okay, I feel like I'm informed. I don't know who the 5 are because us speculators are gonna still be speculating. Street committee gonna do what it's gonna do. Like you ain't gonna stop the street committee. Like I'm not always a willing participant on socials, but look, man, look, my friends, we in them streets, we talking, and we keep it between us. It's just the boys, but we in the streets, we in there talking, but sometimes that was the best way for us to get information. Like, give a little bit, but give some. Like, because as Tamara pointed out, when you move in silence, folks don't know what you're doing. My own wife fussed at me about it. She was like, baby, you didn't tell me you was doing this. And I was like, well, I've been doing it for months. You told me to do this. I didn't know. And I'm getting funny looks because I didn't tell her something. It was my fault. Now, I've been working on something diligently, but I didn't say anything. Same thing. You got to build this relationship, especially with the people that control the purse strings. Hey, Rattler Boosters, I've asked you for in the past year or $300,000. Guess what? This is what I'm thinking about with the coachings. I got a list of 5 and keep it moving. But don't do it during the meeting. Sit up there, talk to Selvin Cobb, say, hey, I got a list of about 10 guys I'm thinking about. Here for my 10. Then what does Selvin do? AD Sykes has her time to talk. Then Selvin gives his minute. Well, she's giving me a list. I don't know if I'm at liberty to say, y'all know Selvin's like really cool, nice guy. But if he feels like saying, he can share your 10 prospects. And guess what? That 10 can come out and trickle out there to the street committee like everything else does. But we're getting some news and you get a benefit being a booster. Like, but you got to say something. Like, you're telling us when the field got redone, hey, AstroTurf redid the field. Okay. All right, AD Sykes. Shoot, I shared that myself. That's progress. I like to see that. Okay. Cool beans. When the stadium was getting updated, do y'all remember how much Vaughn updated us? Like, let's keep it a bean. Ace Media, that was Vaughn. Vaughn Wilson was sitting up there updating Rattler Nation about the progress of Bragg Stadium being rebuilt. But guess what? We were sitting there looking like, boy, that's gonna be nice. Boy, I tell you what, this look all right. And then y'all hit the stadium, y'all like, what is nice? This ain't rusty. Got the black paint on it. Okay. Hey, we get a new scoreboard. The old one hasn't come in yet. It's on. Oh, okay. It's on back order. Cool. Okay. Because we knew that. And even Dr. Robinson was over there. We were at the Kim Riley celebration. Dr. Robinson was talking about, we were at the Alabama State game. He was like, yeah, they was talking bad about me last year, my scoreboard. I'm looking like, what? I thought you didn't care, Doc. Doc looking like, no, I care. They was talking bad about my scoreboard this year. Got something for their asses. Like, he was on it. Like, he was so excited to have something that y'all could talk good about him. Like, yeah, man, they be over there beating me on the OG tracking zone with a belt. Nah, I got a nice scoreboard this year. Like, he was not playing. That man was so proud. But it was The fans were engaged. You even saw with the scoreboard in the basketball gym. That was Kelvin. Kelvin was one of the first ones to drop pictures like, yo, we get a new scoreboard in the basketball gym. It's like, what? Walked in there and saw that thing. Like, oh, that's nice. Okay. But it was the fact that communication was made. Like, it was the fact that we had to be told, you got to let me know what's going on. Like, and Jordan points out the issue is the season doesn't start till fall. Only thing to ease the wounds is wins. You can't do any winning until then. Right. How do you build support? You got to get the orange and green game going. Like, whoever you hire, you got to start. This is my thing. I got nothing to sell you to the orange and green game. And I got that celebration thing that we just had that looked like hot garbage. So what am I doing for the orange and green game? Look, Willie may not come. That's fine. I'm rolling all the trophies out. I got the players. They may not come out there hoisting trophies, but I got a video investigating champions, celebrating champions. I got every championship up there. And for football, it may be 117 degrees, but guess what? I rolled a Celebration Bowl trophy out. I rolled a SWAC championship trophy. I rolled a Florida Classic trophy out there. The OBC trophy, every trophy we won, I'm rolling that out there with everybody out there looking. Because now, as Jordan pointed out, I'm keeping you satiated until football season starts. I'm showing you, hey, as an AD, I got championships. Now, were these my people? That don't matter. I got trophies. we can argue with the results, or we can argue who created the results. And at this point, I'm all you got. Like, but as Ashley's pointing out, communication feels like it's been non-existent, you know, and some of it is because some of us aren't in the right groups. If you're not a booster, you're not getting that access. Whereas the NAA, they're also putting in money. So guess what? They should get some of that communication. Like, and it does feel a little sneaky, especially, you know, kind of after the fact. Like, communication been a little shabby. And so, look, coaches always let us know who paid for what. Willie Simmons was good about that. Even at the end, Willie Simmons thanked every DSO on that stage. He would sit up there. Even I told y'all, Rattler Boosters got a hot 300 and some members, needed to get to 1,000. He would literally sit there and say, "Thank you, Rattler Boosters. Thank you, the F Club. Thank you, the 220 Club. Thank you to the FAMU NAA." He would thank every one of them. Tiff did. She sent an email. We didn't see it publicly, but that's her fault. She look, post that more to social media. Told you we'll prove the socials, but you saw that. Look, what you got? Here's a thought about searches. When schools have presidential searches, they're not allowed to disclose applicants until the finalists are chosen. This is often because applicants want to retain their current position if they're not hired. I like that idea. My only disagreeing is the season was over. Like, we were the champions. We won. At this point, if I can't really kill your recruiting. Like, especially for me, that if the list is out there, and that's why I said you got 20 candidates. I got 10 candidates. And it goes to that point that you said about these are my finalists. Now, when I got my list of 20, it's a list of 20. That's all it is. You let ONG speculate. Let me speculate. Let anybody who covers it. Let Bobby Swope. Let him speculate. Let all of us speculate about what you're gonna do. But when you get your final 5, just like you did with the athletic director, these are the finalists. Okay, cool. We can scrutinize who y'all picking. Let's go. But that's my only pushback on that. But I like that you agree with the stakeholders. And then Jordan Gibbs has nothing to do with any of this. Look, I want to win. Like, I'm petty. I'm really, like, at my core, I'm not as petty as some of my friends and some of my family, but I'm petty. I want to win. Like, I tell my students all the time, like, look, my students that when I was in my history class, I used to tell my kids, y'all, we got a state exam at the end of the year. If I knew every test question on there, guess what? I would give you the answer to every test. Why? Because I want to look good. I want to win. I would cheat, but I don't because I do have that academic integrity. But at the same point, if I was going to not get caught and not lose my license and not have to answer to the lady, shoot, man, I'd be up here cheating McGee. Hey, you ain't you ain't win, you if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, is what my homeboy said. Congratulations, Chase. Chase got a pay raise and a bump. Um, then with the large stakeholder base coming to it is, and that's why I said you get the leaders, not the entire boosters should not be in that meeting. The entire NAA should not be in the meeting. And I even argued to the point that the entire boards probably shouldn't be in there. If you got a board of 10 people, all y'all don't you tell the leader, the president of your group, who y'all want. Y'all come to a consensus. This is who the group wants. Majority rules. Run it like a pure democracy. And you keep it that way. And that way it doesn't convolute your coaching search process, but it also makes it consistent to where you easily know who's going where. I promise that's Avery Wilson. That boy can sing. Oh my Lord. If you have not heard that man sing, that man got a song called Touch the Sky. Whoo, that man can sing. Respectfully. But anyways, I digress. Sorry. I got a little ADHD myself. But I think that's the way. And I think you have to do that sooner than later. And you have to start setting up these meetings next week. Like you announce to them, board of trustees going to make their decision. Again, if you want a quick decision, you know what to do. You want something convoluted that's going to last a few weeks and you trying to stand on business, you can stand on business all you want. But make the right decision. And then that following week, start working your DSOs. I would do one a week. Maybe that first week I would try to do two. And I would hit NAA first, booster second. Because the booster meeting in for like another 3 weeks. So I would go hit the NAA meeting. I would probably hit the F club. I would make contact with the 220. And then I would do the boosters because they're next month. And so that way, every week, you're meeting with one of the DSOs and publicize that stuff. Put it on social media. Hey, we're doing right here. So, and I love what Jordan pointed out. Rattler Nation is lockstep. 140K in 3 days. Exactly. That don't talk about the other 50 from the boosters. That's 190. Then you're not talking about what the F Club's offering. Like you start looking, all the money put together, you got like about $250,000 within that short period that was like committed. Now, can you get the boosters to recommit that 50K? Good luck. But that's why you have to get the stakeholders, because you can't chase these big money boosters and say, well, one of these big money boosters is going to save us. It doesn't work. Like we're seeing even across the street. Yeah, one of their NIL groups got in trouble. Guess what? It's not the important one. I don't think it was the Rising Spear. I think it was the other group, which is like, I think it is the Rising Spear. I don't think it's the Battle's End, which is their major NIL. But what do? Go to their website. They take donations at every level. You can get $5. You can get $5 million. As long as you're supporting their NIL, don't matter. Same thing here with these groups. Go to the leaders. Use your athletic fund the way you can. But I would find somebody else to sell it. I would get a new face on it. I would become as background as possible. I would be like that wall as an AD. You wouldn't know my name. I just write checks, make decisions. I talk to my DSOs, and these next 2 years, we're going to make something shake. But yeah, let's see. How does Ron DeSantis or administration affect how FAMU does business? Ron DeSantis doesn't give a damn about FAMU. Like, and we're the second closest university to his quote unquote place of residence, but not much. I mean, and that's just my personal bias, my personal feelings, but I've never seen anything to say that Ron DeSantis felt any type of way about FAMU. I believe we do have a couple people from his political party on the board of trustees, but I've never seen anything to show that he cared about FAMU. Heck, even after we won the Celebration Bowl, he didn't. Who? How long did it take for him to send out a congratulations? I'll wait. How long did it take for him to go down there and visit and pose with the trophy? Has he posed with the trophy? I'll wait. Now the mayor of Tallahassee, he's been down there a lot, but that man been on boards at FAMU, so he's been messing with FAMU for decades. But yeah, Ron DeSantis don't care about us. Now you may want to check out that law school. Y'all make sure the UCF waiting on that. So and then Hitman, what do you think she gonna pay our Coach Gibbs? 200 plus whatever the DSOs can get. That's the big issue. I don't know if the salary cap has gone up as far as what a coach can be offered by the university, but I know it used to be 200. I could be misdated, but I didn't double check that. But it's probably like 225. You can get 25,000 between them 4 groups. I'll go somewhere where people don't like me. If I go, look, I'm just saying that kind of salary bonus, yeah. Yes, be invited to stay out in the locker room too. Look, and then Jordan, he needs to get paid 46, just like a Fort Valley. Most jobs you have to disclose your previous salary. So they pay him what he's owed, the same thing he got before. Look, you don't get no state income taxes when you cross that line, right? Y'all folks are wrong. And I'm not surprised old Ron didn't visit. Nah, didn't visit. It didn't say anything. We got snubbed from the playoffs last year, if I remember correctly. Wasn't no lawsuits to the NCAA. I mean, granted, I get that. That was really about the money FSU lost in principle, less about the actual principalities of the situation. But in reality, yeah, like y'all know what's up. So we're gonna see though. So Tuesday, 1:00, the board meeting for the board of trustees is gonna be up there. They do have a section for public comments. I haven't seen where they're taking any pre-stated comments, so anything like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see, man. What becomes of that, and who says what in the public comments? Because there's always like one Yahoo out there, but there's always that other person that's gonna be up there like, nah, I'm gonna give a piece of my mind. So we're gonna see with this one. Let's see, Tamara. Yeah, she's not wrong. We're in the goodwill bin at this. I don't say that. We better than that. Like if you from Orlando, we at least DDs. Like, come on, man. Goodwill. Come on, bro. We at least DDs. Aldi for y'all people. We at least Aldi. We used to be Publix. Okay. A fancy Winn-Dixie. Was fancy Winn-Dixie with shoddy customer service. I cussed in my head. But we're Aldi now. Like it's, it is what it is. But yeah, we ain't fell down the Safeway yet. But we ain't fall off. Darn shame, Jordan. Not FAMU. HEB for Texas, folks. Well, I thought HEB was like Publix. I ain't been there yet though. But yeah, man. Ooh, kids for the consignment sale. You know what? Y'all yeah, y'all hanging that brother out to dry. Y'all hanging him in the sun too. Y'all ain't got decency to throw him in the dryer. You put your good clothes in the dryer. Put this joke out here on the clothing line. Look, if I'm Gibbs, I ain't taking this job. I would not. I would stay up there at Fort Valley where it's safe. And honestly, I'll wait for the Norfolk State job to open because I don't know how much longer Dawson Odom stays there. Like, how long does he stay there? Do you want the Delaware State job? Just say that out loud. South Carolina State just got theirs. So And do you wait for the Alabama A&M job? Like, real talk. Carnell Maynard, boy, he must got a root on somebody. I'm saying, like, bruh, that seat must be hot, but man, you done did some of that voodoo on somebody or something. Because man, end of the season, go watch the Carnell Maynard show. Yeah, he did look like the dude from Rocky Bullwinkle, the doctor, or not Snidely Whiplash. I gotta find that one now. Oh goodness. I gotta find a picture of that dude. That's gonna be bothering me. But yeah, he definitely did, man. Uh, oh man, he was looking so dejected. But look, again, that's where I'm at with that. So again, my solution to the problem: hire Cozy, have him talk to the DSOs, step back from the forefront, and just be an AD that's just a little more in the background. Just because the relationship's not there. Rebuild relationships in private, and then as you build those relationships, continue to show that, personality-wise, you're cool. Like I told y'all, I had no problem with AD Sykes as a person. She's really cool. She's personable, very friendly, all that good stuff. So, but if it's Gibbs, yeah, good luck, bro. So we're going to see, though, y'all. We will see. Look, if she ever going to talk to us again as a fan base, I mean, after one of them games where you get a trophy, maybe. But look, this a abusive relationship here, boy. We look, she caught the belt. Look, I don't look. She ain't rock. She probably wouldn't rock with us for a minute. I would. I'd let y'all jokers have it. So we're gonna see y'all, but we're gonna see. I'm gonna let Ashley be the last one before we get up out of here. I'd be torn between taking the pay raise and knowing folks gonna hate me the first day. Exactly. That's where I would be with that. So we're gonna see though. So what the man say on the 5 Heartbeats? They say they're better than the Temptations. We will see. So we're gonna see, boy. Because look, y'all know our heart is a house of love, and I've learned that it don't take much to break it. And a lot of us rattlers is heartbroken over this foolery. So, but yeah, man, look, fangsuppodcast@gmail.com. Hit me up, bro. I definitely check my emails. And look, as Tamara said, this Rattler Venom ain't no joke. You better stay where he is, because we're going to talk bad in his face. But for Herb Stewart and the Black Techies, look, we're going to be back here Thursday. And also, look, I'll be up Friday, round 1. Probably be on the Florida Sports Talk Radio too, man. We're going to be a little bit everywhere, but we will be back here Thursday, 8 o'clock. Hopefully we have an answer for who the coach is. And we're going to talk about, what's this basketball program looking like? And hopefully we can solidify some recruits. We will go back and kind of look at some of the dudes that we kind of overlooked when Riz left, because it's like, are they coming? Are they leaving? Right now, we over here and will this thing go round in circles, because it's been going on, and I'm ready for us to get to the end of the road. But as always, y'all, it's going to be Fangs Up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it?